the Yamadutas, who had been very disappointed. Yamaraj said, although Ajamil was calling for his son, he chanted the holy name of the Lord, Narayan, and simply by a glimpse of the chanting of the holy name, he immediately achieved the association of Lord Vishnu's order carriers, who saved him from your attempt to arrest him. This is quite all right. It is a fact that even though a chronically sinful person who chants the holy name of the Lord, although not completely without offenses, does not take another material birth. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, Ajamil had met four order carriers of Lord Vishnu. They were very beautiful and had quickly come to rescue him. Yamaraj now described them. The Vishnu Dutas are all pure devotees of the Lord. The Supreme Person is in regard to the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this cosmic manifestation. Neither King Indra, Varuna, Shiva, Brahma, the seven Rishi, nor I myself can understand the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord, who is self sufficient and beyond the reach of material senses. With material senses, no one can attain enlightenment about him. The Lord, the master of the illusory energy, possesses transcendental qualities for the good fortune of everyone, and his devotees are also qualified in that way. The devotees concerned only with rescuing the fallen souls from this material world apparently take birth in different places in the material world just to save the conditioned souls. If one is somewhat interested in spiritual life, the devotee of the Lord protect him in many ways. So actually, you see, this is very nice. This is actually a direct reference to Srila Prabhupada himself. The devotee of the Lord takes birth in so many places. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, these are like great souls. Or we can say Jayanand Prabhu, Vishnujan Swami. Just today I was reading about Vishnujan Swami and Prabhupada was writing. He said his chanting is very pure. He has become a Gandharva. He has taken birth in the Gandharva planet and he'll go back to Godhead from there. So you see, these are special souls. They are not ordinary people. They may have taken birth in Milecha families in Milecha lands, but they are very special souls. So this is the reference which is given here. Very special souls who have come on this earth either to directly preach the message of the Lord or assist those who are preaching the message of the Lord. So these are very, very rare souls. Mahatma Sudurlabha. The devotees, okay, Yamaraj continued. The essence of Sanatan Dharma or eternal religion is extremely confidential. No one but the Lord Himself can deliver the confidential religious system to human society. It is by the mercy of the Lord that the transcendental system of religion can be understood by His pure devotees and specifically by the 12 Mahajanas Lord Brahma, Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, the Kumaras, Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Janak, Bhishma, Bali, Shukadeva Goswami, and me. Other learned scholars, headed by Jaimini, are almost always covered by the illusory energy, and therefore they are more or less attracted by the flowery language of the three Vedas, namely Raga, Yajur, and Sam, which are called Trayi. Instead of becoming pure devotees, people captivated by the flowery words of these three Vedas are interested in the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. They cannot understand the glories of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Intelligent persons, however, take to the devotional service of the Lord. When they chant the holy name of the Lord without offenses, they are no longer subject to my rulings. If by chance, who's making that sound? When they chant the holy name of the Lord without offenses, they are no longer subject to my rulings. If by chance they commit some sinful act, they are protected by the holy name of the Lord because that is where their interest lies. The four weapons of the Lord, especially the club and the Sudarshan Chakra, always protect the devotees. One who chants, hears, or remembers the holy name of the Lord without duplicity, or who prays or offers obeisances to the Lord, becomes perfect, whereas even a learned person may be called to hell if he is bereft of devotional service. After Yamaraj thus described the glories of the Lord and his devotees, Shukdev Goswami further explained the potency of chanting the holy name and the futility of performing Vedic ritualistic ceremonies and pious activities for atonement. So, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Lord Himself comes to establish religious process. So one may think that it is so simple, like Bhagavad Gita is so simple. Why Krishna is needed to descend to speak this message? So actually, it's not that simple, really. Krishna is saying Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. The path of religion is full of many obstacles. You know, Shurasya dhara nishita duratyaya durgam pathas tat kavayo vadanti. The path of religion is full of obstacles. What are these obstacles? These obstacles are not the ordinary obstacles you are thinking, Kanak Kamini Pratishtha. No, these obstacles are so many allurements that these Vedas promise, which eventually lead you to Kanak Kamini and Pratishtha. We can see in our times also these kind of manifestations where people say, oh, it's all right, everyone should become a grahastha, everyone should enjoy life, and you can do bhakti. What's the problem? No, there's great danger there. Any moment there can be a fall down. Even if there is no fall down, there may be no elevation. One is comfortable. And if you're comfortable, where is the motivation to leave this world? If you think this world is a nice place, then why would you have any motivation to leave this? उत्साह निश्चयात धैर्य तत्त कर्म प्रवर्तना. So Utsaha is the first word that Rupa Goswami is using. So Utsaha for bhakti will only come when you are hatotsahit, when you are not enthusiastic about material life, when you are disappointed with material life. If material life is happy and you are progressive, why would you want to practice Krishna consciousness? Shishnodara Parayana Krishna nahi paye. जिभारा लालसा जेई इति उति धाय Shishnodara Parayana Krishna nahi paye. One who is going here and there, oh, now I'll do my PhD in Germany, now my postdoctoral in US, now I'll study rocket science, now I'll study this and that. That person is just wasting his time. 25, 30 years of life just studying material sciences. Where will that person have any motivation to study Krishna? Actually, in Bhagavatam, 6th canto only, we're going to see that verse where Krishna is saying that those who are my pure devotees, I take away all their material benefits. When they're bereft, when they're bereft of all material opulences, they are kicked out by the whole society and their own family, then they take my shelter. Srila Prabhupada also writes that when a devotee is a little bit inclined towards bhakti and Krishna sees this, then Krishna makes him bereft of all happiness in the material world. And when he becomes a miserable wretch, then he is forced to take shelter of me. So Prabhupada says this is what happened to us also. Krishna saw that I was a little inclined towards bhakti. So Krishna took away all my material motivation and I was forced to act like this. But for that, we have to have some inclination for Krishna because this is great mercy of Krishna. Of course, having said that, I mean, not that Krishna made Prabhupada a beggar. Krishna gave Prabhupada like a million times more than what he had taken away. Krishna gave Prabhupada everything. He made him world famous. Prabhupada, I mean, Krishna gave him the wealth of pure devotion. I mean, he was always a pure devotee, but Krishna gave him the wealth of pure realization. He saw all the glories of Krishna fully manifesting. So you see, this is bhakti. But this is very secret, this is a very confidential secret. Not everyone can understand this. We can read about it in the books, but understanding of this will take time. And that is the special mercy of Krishna. But this is very instructive. This we have discussed previously also. Other learned scholars headed by Gemini are almost always covered by the illusory energy. Therefore, they are more or less attracted by the flowery language of the three Vedas. This can happen even in devotion. That's why we see devotees who are aspiring to become big leaders, big grahasthas, very famous, wearing this sutra in their neck, getting this diksha, that diksha, heading this committee, that committee. That is a manifestation of this illusory energy only. In fact, there's a very nice example here. Jayanand Prabhu was the senior most devotee in San Francisco. But in San Francisco temple, I mean, he was the oldest and the most senior devotee. But he would never even take the position of a temple president. He was very badly mistreated by the devotees in San Francisco. But he just accepted everything. न धन न धनम न जनम न सुंदरीम कविताम वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भक्तात् भक्तिर हेतु की त्वयि. He didn't want anything. So many times devotees complained to him that Prabhu, you are so senior and you are being mistreated here. You should complain to Prabhupada. He said, no, it's all right. This is all Krishna's wish. So he accepted everything. Amaninha manadina kirtaniya sada hari. This is the meaning, Trunadapi sunichena tavor eva sahishnuna. It's very difficult. And this is precisely why bhakti is so difficult. Bhakti is not difficult because Krishna is putting some obstacles or Maya is going to eat us up. No. Bhakti is difficult because we are fighting our own false ego. All kinds, all kinds of allurements will come in this movement, especially Kanaka Kamini Pratishtha. We have to give it all up. Pratishtha, no one can give that up. I should be at least famous as a senior devotee. I should at least be famous as the most humble devotee. And that's why it becomes almost impossible to advance in bhakti. Great sages like Jaimini and all, they can see the Lord face to face. Kashyap Muni, Jaimini Rishi, they are seeing the Lord face to face. And yet they are not able to surrender. Because Maya is amazing. This potency of Maya is simply amazing. Just to give you one example, in Brihad Bhagavatamrit, Gop Kumar reaches the very end of material creation, not just the universe, the end of material creation. And there it is described, when he reaches there, it is the time is the evening twilight. It's a twilight there, and it's absolutely stunningly beautiful. The landscape is amazingly beautiful. And Gop Kumar is just looking at the landscape, wondering where he has reached. When a very beautiful damsel approaches him, and then she very humbly she bows down in front of him, and then she begs. She says, "My dear Gop Kumar, I am the material energy personified. Please stay here with me, and I promise you that you will never come under my sway. I shall remain as your servant forever." You see, and that is another allurement of Maya. These great sages, they are free from birth, old age, disease, and death. They are not lamenting, they are free from all lamentations. They don't lament for their mother, father, or anything. They can meet any living entity anywhere in the universe. They can meet all their ancestors. They have no old age, they have no disease, no death. They are as it is. But they are not beyond their false ego. Of course, in the sense that death will come when creation is destroyed, but not our kind of death. Our death is always full of ignorance. We just die and we like lose consciousness and we just float here and there. When these sages give up their body, they retain their full consciousness and they manifest again when the creation is manifested. But they don't attain love of God. That is how potent Maya is, how strong Maya is. Actually, if we analyze the strength of Maya, we will see how far the journey is still left. Actually, most of us are not serving Krishna because we want love of Krishna, but because we are fearful of Maya. We are fearful of all the pains that Maya gives us: birth, old age, disease, and death, separation of loved ones, all of these problems. But that's not the only manifestation of Maya. Ashtanga Yoga Siddhi will give you liberation from all of these problems that you are thinking of. The eight Siddhis liberate you from all these problems at once. No separation, no pain, no death, no birth. You're hanging around there in a subtle body. But no love of Krishna. So that's how dangerous Maya is. That's why understanding bhakti is very difficult. To become free from the very, very minute and subtle aspects of Maya, that is very difficult. So we have to carefully evaluate our own consciousness, our own motivations. Hare Krishna. So we start with first verse. Anyone has any questions or comments?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I want one clarification.
Yes,
So
please.
these great rishis like Agastya Muni, Bharadwaj Muni, Kashmir, they are still alive, that means?
Yeah. See, they are not some fallen souls like us. Agastya Muni, Kashyap, Jaimini, Kanad, they are very elevated souls. But they are also not free from Maya.
My part, I agree. But their life will be that. But they will vanish only when the total destruction of the universe. Till that time, they are alive.
No, one point that you should understand is, like I would just summarize what I have spoken already. If one really wants to understand what bhakti is or how to attain pure bhakti, one should follow the example of the four Kumaras.
Right.
Four Kumaras or Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami is one example. He takes birth, doesn't even look at his mother and father. Because he knows as soon as he looks at them, there will be affection. Even though his father is Vyasadeva himself, author of Vedas, Shaktavesh, he's a literary incarnation of the Lord himself. But still, he doesn't want any connection with him. Next, the other example are the four Kumaras.
Yeah.
They simply refuse to grow up. 5-year-old child. What lust will 5-year-old child have? Nothing. That's why they are like little babies. That's why they curse to Jay and Vijay also. Because they are babies. They just run here and there, naked, little babies. Then they enter Vaikuntha. Then they are playing in Vaikuntha. So you see, that's the hint for us. Shukdev Goswami, he's also like a baby. He's running naked here and there. No
That's
thoughts, only Krishna. 4 Kumaras, no thoughts, only Krishna. You see this photograph actually. We're going to see in the next canto the story of this one, the story of Chitraketu Maharaj. There will be a plate. You can see that the plate of the 4 Kumaras with Lord, Sankarshan. The little babies, playing with him, jumping up and here and there. When Chitraketu goes there, he sees Lord Sankarshan and 4 little babies playing with him. Toddlers. But 4 toddlers. But they are acharyas. So we should follow their footsteps. Keep that mindset. Our innocence should be like that of a toddler. Then we can enter the kingdom of Godhead. The Bible also says, and a child shall lead them. You see, that's the significant meaning of the word child in bhakti. Consciousness should be like that of a child. One cannot be a kootanitijya, just playing politics here and there. Let me see, this Mataji is attractive, that one is not so much. This one will give money, that one is not so interesting. Let me see how I can manipulate the situation. No, that is nonsense. That's aparadh. Pure devotee is literally blind. Like Prabhupada knew so many of his disciples were like up to hanky panky. But Prabhupada saw, okay, whatever. Let it be. Let them do whatever they want, at least distributing books. Or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He had a corrupt manager, like a rascal. So sannyasis complained. They said, Prabhupada, this man is a rascal. He steals money from the mutt. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, let it be. This man is a rascal. He's taking away, stealing some funds. But he's getting so many funds also. If I hire a professional manager, I'll have to pay him a salary anyway. So let the rascal take whatever he wants. At least he's doing one seva. Not that he was foolish. He knew, but he was innocent like a child. Okay, let it be nonsense. Like whatever nonsense he does, my work is getting done. Like in English they say, giving the devil his due.
That's right. Lesser evil.
So that is how a pure devotee should be. And how is a devotee like this? Why does a devotee feel like this? How can a devotee be like this? So it's very simple. Bhagavad Gita answers this question also. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. One who has taste for Krishna, what will he want in this world? He has nothing to gain from this world. Then he becomes innocent. He lives like a madman. Like the example of Jada Bharat. Like a madman. No consideration, whatever, let it all go to hell. I have my Krishna. So that is the consciousness which will take us back to Godhead. Nothing else. Even Srila Prabhupada was like that. Actually, like I was reading one interview from, I think it was Vishakha Mataji or Yamuna Mataji. I don't know, one of the Mataji. She had come to Chopati also. And she was explaining that Prabhupada was like the great Acharya, Nitya Siddha Bhakti Vedanta Swami, and you could see like he was so grave. But if you're very close to him, you could see that actually he was innocent like a child. Srila Prabhupada was not on this planet at all. He had to be like this. When he was saying, okay, there is Gaudiya much politics, avoid this, or when he was dealing with Mr. Nair and all that, Prabhupada was taking that role literally. It was his natural state was not like this. In his natural state, Prabhupada was like a little child. Okay, oh, that's a very nice flower. Please get this for me. Oh, there's nice kachori in Delhi. Please get that. He was like that. Very simple.
Sure. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned about that these great sages, that they don't have any sort of material lamentations, and at the same time, they're also very powerful. They have a lot of siddhis and all. And so it's quite possible, na, that they are pretty satisfied with all that and they don't really want love of God.
I mean, I didn't get your point. They don't want love of Godhead. Actually, we also don't want love of Godhead, to be honest. We are even below these sages.
At least we want freedom from this lamentation in the material world, and that's why we are taking to the part of bhakti right now. But for them, I mean, you said na ke Maya still acts on them, but maybe they don't mind that, and they don't really feel anything is wrong. They are not undergoing all the miseries.
Yes.
Mhm.
See, Maya, see, Maya will attack you at your weakest point. You may think Maya means some lot of money or some very handsome men or something. No, you have some other weak points. Maybe lamentation for your family, maybe something else, something else. Maya will know that. Maya is like water. She'll find a crack in your personality and she'll just enter from there. She's very fluid. As soon as she sees, oh, so he wants Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, he wants freedom from this, no problem. She'll put you at the level of Brahman and keep you there. That's where the sages are. Great sages. They are Trikaladarshi, they can see the time factor, they see everything. They just don't want Krishna.
Hmm.
That's why you see bhakti is different. In bhakti, we are willing to accept. We are willing to accept all sufferings. Ashlisya va padratam pinashtumam adrashanan marma hata karotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato mat prananathastu sadaiva napara. Shiksha Ashtakam of Lord Chaitanya is actually a summarization of all the teachings of Bhagavad. Under any circumstance, the gopis are not willing to, the gopis don't even want freedom from birth, old age, disease, and death. The gopis just want to remember Krishna. That's why Gopi Bhav is so important. They are willing to even die for Krishna. A pure devotee doesn't even want freedom from birth, old age, disease, and death. He just wants service. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhaktir ahetuki tvai. This ahetuki word, occurs many times. Apratihata ahetuki yayatma suprasidati. This is Bhagavatam. Savaya pumsham paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje. First canto. Apratihata ahetukya yayatma suprasidati. Ahetuki. When you don't even want freedom, then you may, whether I live or whether I die, it doesn't matter. It should be only for Krishna. Yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato. That is pure bhakti. So you see this. So in the beginning, yes, we say, okay, freedom from birth, old age, disease, and death. But in advanced stages of bhakti, we don't even want this. Just the service of Krishna.
Hmm. But then, Prabhuji, what would finally, if during every annihilation they go into the body of Mahavishnu and again come out at every creation, what will be the destination? They'll keep on doing this eternally.
Someday they'll become free. I mean, they are already Brahma stage, so someday they'll become attracted to Krishna, maybe. Even they are way, but this is just like they are also acharya in that way. Because by looking at them, we can understand the extent of Maya.
Hmm.
What is the extent of Maya? Maya will prevent you from getting attracted to Krishna. Like this example of Rupa, this, Gop Kumar that I gave you. Maya Devi is promising him. He's saying, you don't need to go. You just stay with me. I won't even delude you. No birth, old age, disease, and death. You will forever stay with me like this. Now imagine like a a villa next to some nice lake in Switzerland, and you are going to live there forever, young, handsome, rich. Who wouldn't want that? And then to refuse that for the sake of love of Krishna, who is just a boy playing in Vrindavan with cows and flute, that requires real love
But he
only.
has tasted that now. He has tasted that, so he will go for that.
Of course, Gopkumar came from Krishna Lok himself. But the point is that if you are with someone like Srila Prabhupada, you can taste that love also. Love of Krishna is Sankirtan. Golokera Premadhan, Hari Nama Sankirtan. This is Narottam Das Thakur is singing. Why don't we have faith in that? Everyone claps this song, Golokera Premadhan, Hari Nama Sankirtan. We sing it and then we eat prasad and we come home. Okay, nice. Beautiful wife, beautiful son, my car, my job. And then we don't pay attention to those bhajans. You do Sankirtan, you will see the love of Krishna with your own eyes, with these very eyes. You, as Dr. Archana Tadwalkar, will see love of Krishna. Just try Sankirtan. I'm promising you this. You will see it with your own eyes. Here, sitting in Navi Mumbai itself. I mean,
Just
why
like
would
a-
Prabhupada give this otherwise? Then
Haribol.
it was just
I
like
hope your
theoretical
words
waste.
come true.
No, you try it very hard, but only after you have suffered a lot. It's not so easy. Yes. So
Prabhuji, I also
yes,
have a question. Prabhuji,
yeah,
we say
please.
Maya. Maya is
Hmm.
actually energy of Krishna. So
Yeah.
we say Maya acts and hurts at the weakest point. It's actually our desire that somehow or other did not got purified. And Krishna's
Hmm.
energy is giving us a chance to say, okay, here you go. This did not
Hmm.
got purified. Now live with it and learn. Right? In our case, it seems like that. But how is that in case of Gop Kumar? Gop Kumar has been pure. So how
Hmm.
come Maya still giving him alluring, chances to stay there?
Ah, now this is very interesting point, and this is spoken by Krishna himself. Now, Gop Kumar is not like us. He's not a demon who is like lusty or whatever. Gop
Mm-hmm.
Kumar is also a child. He's also Krishna's friend. Like him,
Mm-hmm.
Krishna is mischievous, naughty, just running here and there. Gop Kumar is also like that. And in his naughtiness, when Krishna goes back to Godhead, Gop Kumar forgets. He's left playing. Krishna says that. He says, my dear Gop Kumar, where were you left when I came back? You were playing in Vrindavan and you forgot. A moment of neglect. Just one moment of neglect. Gop Kumar did not see when Krishna left. That's why Gop Kumar is a boy only. He's playing on the banks of Yamuna only.
Mm-hmm.
When he sees a crazy Brahman who's just singing and dancing, and then he says, I only came to give you the holy name.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
Gop
one other
Kumar is,
question. Sorry,
hmm.
go ahead, Prabhuji.
So you see, Gop Kumar is an associate of Krishna. And in a momentary lapse, he's playing. See, Bhauma Vrindavan is same as Golok Vrindavan. He's
Mm-hmm.
enjoying his life there. And in a momentary madness, he forgets when Krishna left. He just neglects to see when Krishna left. So you see how dangerous this material world is.
Yes, very scary. Though he's
Actually,
with
Prabhupada
Krishna.
recommended. He said Prabhupada said that you should study Brihad Bhagavatamrit if you want to know what is actual, what is life in Golok. But we don't have too many translations of it. But yes, you were saying something else also.
One other question, Prabhuji. Here, and actually in other verses too, it says, one who chants and hears and remember the holy name of the Lord without duplicity. Prabhuji,
Hmm.
practically, what does it mean without duplicity? We
हाँ
we
ये
are
practically
we have duplicity at this moment, है ना?
हाँ ये practically हटा दीजिए life से.
Hmm.
The waves of Maya will come and hit you hard. If you speak truth in your office, your boss will get angry. Speak truth at home, your husband will be like Rudra himself. Your child will turn into Hiranyakashipu if you speak the truth. Your parents will turn into Rudra and Bhavani.
Yes. Mhm.
Kali.
Then you'll see without duplicity, but that will be purification. But okay, since you asked practically, so let me tell you practically. Practically, you try to detach yourself from this world. Example is Srila Prabhupada himself. So, there are, like, if you read Lilamrit, you'll see many interviews of people who associated with Prabhupada who are not devotees. So, these people are, of course, they are now dead and gone, but they were not devotees, but they knew Prabhupada. Like, the very first person, this is a very interesting fact. The very first person who distributed Srila Prabhupada's books, who sold Prabhupada's books, was a Muslim doctor in New York. You know that?
Wow. No.
Prabhupada had gone to New York Conway Hall to give a lecture. And he was alone. He just had this trunk he took with him. Well, one trunk he took to distribute books. Then his time came to speak. So he just turned next to this Muslim doctor was sitting there. He said, excuse me, can you please watch over these books? And if someone comes, please give these books and collect some donation. So this Muslim doctor sold some books of Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, how was he? So Prabhupada was very businesslike, very sharp. So Dr. Bose, who was Prabhupada's mentor, he writes that Prabhupada would talk only business during business hours Other than that, he would only talk about bhakti,
Mm.
nothing in between. So he was literally like two persons. In business, he was only talking business. He was an expert businessman. He was expert in accounts and pharmacology, and even a little bit of medical science. He was quite an expert. And he would stick very, like he was a very considerate person, but he would be very business minded. But at other times, his only consideration was bhakti. That's how he could establish Gaudiya Math in Bombay. He helped establish 2 or 3 branches of Gaudiya Math, Allahabad, Bombay, like this. So he did it, and all the time his mind was in translation of Bhagavad Gita, translation of Bhagavatam, and going to the West. For he didn't know, Prabhupada thought London, he had landed up in New York. So that is how we live practically. It's hard, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. And as more and more of his family turned atheistic, Prabhupada turned more and more away from his family.
Mm.
Literally till the end, like in the ending days, Prabhupada was just literally living as a formality with his family. And after living for a very long time in Bombay when they were in Allahabad, Calcutta actually, then Prabhupada wrote like, what is the use? Might as well just become a vanprasth now. Then he left home. But yes, but we also follow the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. Like he says, when Mahaprabhu is writing to Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, he writes, like a wife who has a paramour, she behaves very nicely with the husband. So now this is like highly immoral. But why is Mahaprabhu writing like this? The point is just avoid this material world. Hide your devotion. Just carry out bare minimum dealings with this material world. Your heart should be with Krishna. In fact, I'll give you an example. Like this is a very personal instruction which I received. I have a very senior friend, very old brahmachari. He also told me the same thing. He said, inside your own personality, there should be just one corner which is only for Krishna. Nobody else. No one should be allowed in that place. Only you and Krishna. The rest of you is for the world, but that little corner is only for Krishna. Your corner of your consciousness. So, I
Means
mean, it
the
happens, especially when devotees become sincere, they face a lot of troubles in their family life.
Mm.
It's bound to happen, but that you should take as a sign of advancement in bhakti, that Krishna is now reciprocating with you.
Mm.
Remember Narottam Das Thakur, Sansara Vasana Kabe Shuddha Habe Man, Kabe Ham Heribo Shri Vrindavan.
Mm.
Sansara, what is Sansara Vasana? It is, family, home, hearth, Ato Graha Kshetra Sutapta Vittar. That is Sansara Vasana. So Krishna is showing you their true face.
Mm.
So yes, it is hard. No, I'm not saying that it's easy and it's all going to be fun and games. No, it's painful. You think, oh, this has been my husband, this is my child, this is my mother, my father, and why are they behaving like this? It's hard. It's very hard. But this is also freedom from material nature.
Mm.
We are like breaking these cords, Chindante sarva granthinam bhidyate sarva sanshaya.
Yesterday I was reading Krishna book, and in that book there was a sentence that was like a chape, literally a chape. So in Krishna book, the sentence came as Saubar Muni, when he gave Shrap to Garudaji, because this was an offense against Vaishnav. So Saubar Muni fell down from his position where he was actually enjoying spiritual bliss, and he ended up as a grihastha,
Yes.
enjoying enjoying his senses to fully. I was like, here you go, here is a chape. This is what a grihastha is.
Yeah, that's the problem,
Yes,
So that's the point. Like we are not against Grihastha ashram. We're not saying oh Grihastha is bad or something. But like like Keshan Prabhu also says the same point. Where can you remember Krishna more? That's it. Shaubhari Muni was remembering Krishna nicely. He cursed Garud and he then reached a situation where he could not remember Krishna nicely. Inside the water, he started noticing the fish. Outside of water, he noticed the princesses. In fact, as the story goes, when the king saw Shaubhari Muni marrying those daughters of his, he became very unhappy and he became a renunciate. We are like, what is the use of this yoga, vairagya, everything? I'll just leave this world. This world itself is all Maya.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That's so nice. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So, any other questions or comments?
So you said you keep this space for Krishna, exclusive space.
Hmm.
How do you explain it? You understand? You mean there is something absolutely, and you are only with Krishna left.
Hmm.
So how to practice it?
Very simple, Prabhu. Like, let's take your example. Like, all your life you've been a military officer, you've commanded, you've been in a war, you have fought the enemy, everything. That is one part of you. But in this particular part of your consciousness, there should be nothing of that sort. Just you and Krishna. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam. That is what it should be. Like, like we remove, like when I come back from office, I remove my jacket, I remove my shirt, and then I am myself. I'm not wearing my snow jacket inside the house. I'm not wearing my shoes inside the house. So take off these shoes and jacket, keep them aside. You are not Dr. K.M. Mehrotra, you are not retired Colonel Mehrotra. No, you are just who you are, pure Atma. And there is Krishna. You are not this body, you are not this mind, you are not anything associated with this consciousness. Pure consciousness only as a servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. That's it. Small child. What is Krishna? Krishna is a small child. So be like a small child. Try it for 5 seconds.
Sannyas. Total sannyas with a childlike manners.
Yes, completely. No considerations of this world. Oh, I have to be like this to this people, I have to be like that. No, nothing. I just have to be what Krishna wants me to be.
Sure. I got it.
Hari. Yes, so any other questions or comments? If not, we just stop here then. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna. Dandavat pranam ji.
Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna,
Hare
Guruji,
Krishna.
Dandavat pranam. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.